Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and today I wanted to cover a pretty simple topic, hopefully quickly, being the new mounted guns that are in 3.13. Now, these have been around since the earliest patches, however, they haven't really worked at all in any of them, so it was kind of hard to cover in any real detail. Well, today I got the itch to try them again after not seeing much content out there, and I found them on 3 different locations actually working. One being the one in the video, which is Reclamation and Disposal on Orinth, which is on Hurston. I've also seen one at Brio's Breaker Yard on Daymar, and another one that I can't remember the location of, but it was a bunker mission, which makes me think Hurston. Now, essentially what these are size 1 ballistic Gatling guns, specifically the Gallants and Yellow Jackets, which have been mounted onto a manned turret base, where you act very similarly to the door guns on the Valkyrie. You grip the gun, and these, since they're kind of on a ground-based kind of little mound, you can end up rotating 360 degrees, and you have a pretty good firing arc up and down. Now, since the gun seems to be connected to the ground, there's either a belt-fed path through the arm, or we're just looking at Tier 0 implementation, but the gun does not appear to run out of ammo, nor does it overheat. Now, the control of the gun is actually pretty ideal, as it kind of floats as it rotates. It's got weight, but it's quick, and it kind of makes for a pretty compelling anti-ground vehicle defense option. When you're on it, it's a smaller target, so enemies trying to land shots, even though you're stationary, would be challenging. Though if you're going up against players with small arms, they may be a little bit more accurate, and with vehicles, they would bring in bigger weapons. So what I would say is definitely sport heavy armor when you're using one of these in combat, although at this point I don't really see where that combat would really come in and be useful. I had my turrets, at least control-wise, set to not be inverted on the mouse. So control was a little bit wonky, but after I swapped it to inverted, controls became much more natural. The gun itself doesn't seem to have any real recoil to be seen, so I think that's the turret arm kind of acting as a stabilizer. But you will notice that the gun kind of drifts, almost like it's trying to simulate recoil to some degree, which I don't know is intentional or not. I like the way the player kind of moves around the turret, which is kind of nimble and logical. And in the video, while I apologize for wearing an awful helmet, I will say that I was trying in earlier patches to get something to equip, and my helmet just would never go back on. This awful Scarecrow helmet was my last effort, which stuck, so I've got it. Now, testing the damage, I was curious, what does this really do? I mean, I know what a size 1 Gatling gun does, but is this any different? I fired at my Avenger almost nonstop, and it didn't seem to do anything damage-wise. So I gave up. I went and climbed back in the Avenger, was going to go do something else, and when I climbed back in, I found out that the nose was red. So I climbed back out, and I finished the job, which killed the Avenger, indicating that the ballistic Gatling gun does pass through the shields, which never really seemed to fail. Now, I wouldn't take that as an overpromise on what these guns are really capable of doing, because it was a stationary target and it took a very long time on a sensitive area of the ship. Any real ship flying, and this would be a mere annoyance at best. A size 1 is not going to do much against any of the ships. Against buggies, though, I do think this is a decent option. And what I'm really more interested in is if this is kind of the direction that these are going to go long term. Because if this could be the start to the defenses that you could put around your own ground bases, and if that's the case, that plays into a larger combined arms dynamic. And you could potentially see where weapon types could be, variable. Maybe you use cannons or something. Or potentially there's even a new turret option like a SAM, where, you get the surface-to-air missiles. That coming at some point would be really kind of compelling and interesting. So, regardless, new stuff is good. I'm glad to see the initial implementation is working fairly well and finally working in the game. If you guys have questions on this topic, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I think that's basically it. So, stay tuned for more coming your way soon. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.